Yep, yep, yep. Okay, we are out today on the crf300l, and Jeff's above on his 300ls. This is off of Ivy Log Gap Road. And I think this will come out, if I remember right, on like 129. But this is my actually first ride on the crf300l. It's almost been a year since I've been on the dirt. I did sell the XR400R. That is living in Asheville these days. And after getting rid of the XR, I had a Kawasaki Versy 650 for a little bit, not for any off-road use. I was using that as a commuter bike, because I was riding every day to Bryson City, and that was about a 200-mile, not a 200, what am I talking about? 100-mile round trip for me. So I didn't want to ride, I didn't want to use my truck. It takes too much gas. But the Versy is a heavy bike. I mean, 460 pounds. It's like a KLR. And it's really too heavy for the kind of riding I like to do. We had rain the other night, so it took all the dust away, which is nice. This is a real nimble bike. Almost reminds me of the XT that I had. We're just taking it easy today. These leaves are wet and they can be sort of slimy. I don't. It's a beautiful day to ride. And in here you have a nice canopy. Second and third. Got some deer up here. Bambi's out with us today. I haven't been on this track in a while. This bike is definitely not the XR, but I like it. This bike is supposedly like 308 pounds wet. I think my XR was like 289, but it's a much taller bike. I think my seat height was like 36 and a half inches or something. I actually like the size of this bike better, because as I get older, I'm not trying to conquer any real super hard enduro stuff. Just take it easy, you know? I don't win any races. So I don't ride with any kind of racing or motocross attitude. My motto is just to come home, don't break anything, yourself or the bike. Now Jeff put one of those Yoshimura, or however, I don't know how you say it, pipes on his bike, and I really like the sound of it. This bike is so quiet, it's almost like an e-bike. Got some campers there. Nice little spot. Yeah, I like the sound of his pipe, but I can't do everything at once. Rocky Mountain had a Service 3.6 tank for $229, I think. So for me, having a little over 3 gallons is a acceptable range. You don't even have to think, you know, do I? Because when you only have 2 gallons, you got to sort of plan your route. And it can be a hassle, so, and I don't like carrying roto packs. So a lot of my goodies will come next week. I got to switch out handlebars, hand guards, all that stuff. Whenever you get a new bike, even if it's not a brand new bike, you got to go through a period of customizing it the way you want it. Then it feels like you got all of the stuff that you are comfortable with. I'm being lazy. I'm just sitting down. I like the stand going uphill on these rocks, but remember, I'm an old man. But we're just going to get into some really nice riding weather here in the fall. You go through a period where all the leaves drop, and then sometimes it's like camouflage when you're here on the gravel because the leaves cover up rocks and you just don't know where some obstacles are. But I'm going to use this bike as a little commuter also, not just only for these kind of dirt trips. When I need to run into town to get something or go to the pool to swim or whatever. Because my truck is just too thirsty. And it's getting old. We're all getting old. we got some houses in here. I'm pretty sure this comes out to 129. Go to the left, you go to Blairsville. You go to the right, you go back to Murphy. Another CRF lives there. Yeah, I'm glad I got a 300 instead of going used on a 250L. I already had the 250L and they made numerous improvements on this bike over the L. And one thing that I was getting tired of when you have 20-some-year-old bikes, you have to always be wrenching on them. And Hondas are pretty reliable. You ask anybody. I had so many people wanting to trade me different bikes for the Versi 450s and stuff. I'm not 450 material. It's always a good little route. It's always a good little route.
Yeah, no, it's a good little route. And what I normally will do